Hi, welcome to Learn English and Practice with Marie. Today we're going to do Advanced Vocabulary Builder, lesson number 143. We'll go through 10 advanced words and talk about their meanings, parts of speech, and review a couple of examples for each. We'll finish with a story so you can hear the words in context, and we'll do a quick review of each word. So we've got a lot to do today, and we'll get started in just a moment, but a reminder to subscribe if you haven't already. It would mean a lot to me. Let's get going. So, first the words are diligence, imposition, irreconcilable, mellifluous, retention, precedent, momentous, contend, persecute, counterproductive. First we have diligence. This means careful and persistent work or effort. So diligence is a quality that's important in employees or students because all diligence is hard work done consistently and carefully. So someone who's diligent gets the job done and they stay focused on that job. So to pass a class in college, you have to be diligent. You have to be focused and you need to do all of your work. So diligence is important for students. Examples are, her success was the result of years of hard work and diligence. Diligence is essential when conducting scientific research. Imposition. This means the action or process of imposing something or of being imposed as a noun. A thing that is imposed, in particular, an unfair or unwelcome demand or burden as a noun. I'll most commonly hear this word in the context of house guests. So if a house guest overstays their welcome, they might be concerned that they've become an imposition. This is particularly the case when it comes to extended family or relatives. If, for example, a mother or father-in-law decides to stay in the home of their adult child, they might get concerned eventually that they're an imposition, or the adult child might find that having those house guests for an extended period of time is an imposition. And if the relatives are polite, they might say, I don't want to impose, I should probably go get a hotel. Examples are, the sudden imposition of strict rules frustrated many employees. The imposition of higher taxes caused widespread public concern. Irreconcilable. This means, when referring to ideas, facts, or statements, representing findings or points of view that are so different from each other that they cannot be made compatible, as an adjective. When referring to people, implacably hostile to each other, as an adjective. So something that's irreconcilable cannot be reconciled. It can't be fixed. It can't be mediated or resolved. So people who get a divorce will often cite irreconcilable differences as the reason. So these are differences that have no solution. Examples are, the couple faced irreconcilable conflicts and decided to separate. The committee struggled to find common ground between the irreconcilable proposals. Mellifluous. This means, when referring to a voice or words, sweet or musical, pleasant to hear, as an adjective. So this word almost sounds like music. Mellifluous. It is getting at this flowery flow, and poetry tends to be quite mellifluous, especially certain genres of poetry. I know Maya Angelou tends to write very mellifluous poetry, but when it comes to music, the harp almost always can be described using this word. Examples are, a mellifluous melody floated through the open windows on a summer evening. The mellifluous sound of the violin created a calming atmosphere. Retention. This means the continued possession, use, or control of something, as an adjective, the fact of keeping something in one's memory, as a noun, The action of absorbing and continuing to hold a substance, as a noun. Failure to eliminate a substance from the body, as a noun. So retention gets at retaining, of keeping something or some population inside. So I'll hear this word in the context of the workforce and employee retention. So an organization, a business, retaining employees is a really important metric because it's expensive to train people and to have them slowly learn their job. So retention is very important. Examples are the company introduced new training programs to improve employee retention. The school focused on the retention of students by offering better academic support. Precedent. This means an earlier event or action that is regarded as an example or guide to be considered in subsequent similar circumstances, as a noun, proceeding in time, order, or importance, as an adjective. And there's additional legal meanings. Particularly with the legal meanings, we're just getting at legal precedents. So when it comes to working with children, you want to make sure that you set good precedents. So you want to make sure that you're strict with the time that you need to leave a fun place, or that you're strict with rules surrounding eating the vegetables as part of your dinner, because you don't want to set the precedent that this child can get away with misbehavior in the future. Examples are the court ruling set an important precedent for future legal cases. There was no historical precedent for such a sudden economic recovery. Momentous. This means when referring to a decision, event, or change of great importance or significance, especially in its bearing on the future, as an adjective. So something that's momentous is huge, it's important, it's a big deal. So when a business is opening, the grand opening, the ribbon cutting, if they decide to do a ribbon cutting, or the first night of business, is a momentous occasion. It's a really important thing for that business and its history. Examples are graduating from college was a momentous achievement for her family. It was a momentous decision that would shape the company's future. Contend. This means struggle to surmount a difficulty or danger, as a verb. Engage in a competition or campaign in order to win or achieve something, as a verb. Assert something as a position in an argument, as a verb. So to contend means to stand behind a viewpoint and defend it. So if I'm planning a major event, I might contend that we need to order more food, and I might argue that point in order to make sure we don't run out of food for our guests. Examples are, she had to contend with limited resources while completing the project. The lawyer promised to contend every point raised by the opposing side. Persecute. This means subject someone to hostility and ill treatment, especially because of their ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation, or their political beliefs, as a verb. Harass or annoy someone persistently, as a verb. So persecution is very obviously bad. So historically, immigrants have been persecuted in a lot of countries, America included. So if a population is bullied, is treated poorly, is violated in a lot of ways, you could definitely use the word persecute. And I think it would probably be very applicable when it comes to immigrant populations in today's political climate in the United States. Examples are, throughout history, many groups have been persecuted for their beliefs. People should never be persecuted because of their religion or ethnicity. Counterproductive. This means having the opposite of the desired effect. So Staying up all night studying for a test can be really counterproductive. You might want to pass the test, but if you stay up all night, the next day you're going to be exhausted and your brain isn't going to be functioning the way it should. So it's going to be counter to what you were trying to produce, thus counterproductive. Examples are procrastination is highly counterproductive when deadlines are tight. Ignoring customer feedback proved counterproductive for the company's growth. So let's read a story so we can hear these words in context. Madison had always dreamed of becoming the manager at the Community Arts Center. When the position finally opened, she knew this was a momentous chance to prove herself. However, the board warned her that visitor retention was at an all-time low, and finding a solution would not be easy. In her first meeting, Madison listened carefully as members argued. Some wanted to raise ticket prices, but she worried this imposition would drive away more families. Others proposed closing programs completely, but Madison believed that would harm the children who relied on free art classes. She also wanted to prioritize persecuted minorities, but that also received pushback. She had to contend with many irreconcilable opinions, which made reaching an agreement difficult. As the debate grew tense, a pianist in the corner played a mellifluous melody that helped everyone relax for a moment. Madison reminded the group that quick, careless decisions could be counterproductive. She encouraged the team to work with diligence, study the data, and set a positive precedent for future leaders. In the end, the board agreed to give her 6 months to adopt the programs and create a new strategy. Madison smiled, knowing this was only the beginning of her journey. So let's review the words quickly and I'll spell as we go. Diligence, D-I-L-I-G-E-N-C-E, means careful and persistent work or effort. Imposition, I-M-P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N, is the action of imposing or something that's imposed specifically with an unfair or unwelcome demand or burden. Irreconcilable, I-R-R-E-C-O-N-C-I-L-A-B-L-E, is something that cannot be reconciled, or people who are hostile to each other in a way that can't be resolved. Mellifluous, M-E-L-L-I-F-L-O-U-S, means, when referring to a voice or words, sweet or musical, pleasant to hear. Retention, R-E-T-E-N-T-I-O-N, is continued possession, use, or control of something, keeping something in your memory, or holding on to a substance. Precedent, P-R-E-C-E-D-E-N-T, is an earlier event or action that can guide future events or actions. Momentous, M-O-M-E-N-T-O-U-S, is a decision, event, or change that is very important. Contend, C-O-N-T-E-N-D, is to have difficulty overcoming something or to assert something as a position. Persecute, P-E-R-S-E-C-U-T-E, is to subject someone to hostility or poor treatment, to harass or annoy, especially on the basis of some sort of identity or minority status. Counterproductive, C-O-U-N-T-E-R-P-R-O-D-U-C-T-I-V-E, is having the opposite of the desired effect. So again, those words are diligence, imposition, irreconcilable, mellifluous, retention, precedent, momentous, contend, persecute, counterproductive. Great job today. There are other videos like this on this channel, and more are coming soon. I'll put playlists and videos right here, and also check out my less formal Study With Me vocabulary series. I just started it, and I'd love to hear what you think. I'll be checking comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.